Welcome to the start of a new anime review series. This is basically Noble Reincarnation. Yeah, this is when Crunchyroll been hyping up and promoting the website. And before I talk about the episodes themselves, I did watch the first episode on Crunchyroll. Second episode, I partially watched on Crunchyroll. I had to go to a different website to watch the rest of this because for some weird reason, and I'm not the only one who apparently is suffering through this. I look up on Discord. Apparently, everyone is going through this right now. Discord is having technical problems today. For some random reason, it's doing this. It's like, oh yeah, go premium. I'm paying the premium plan already. Why do you tell me to pay premium even though I'm already paying premium? This makes no freaking sense at all. No sense at all. The fact it's doing this. It is so stupid. I have never encountered this before at all with Crunchyroll. Like, I've basically been paying Crunchyroll now for 6 years. Never had a problem. Never have until today. Am I going to cut Crunchyroll? No. I have no plans to cut it whatsoever. I enjoy the content on Crunchyroll. I don't buy anything Crunchyroll aside from basically paying for the streaming service. But, yeah, this is kind of stupid on their part. But what about Noble Reincarnation? Well, we start off with our main character here, who is a baby, who is a reincarnation. As for what he did in his previous life, it's not explicitly stated, in case you're curious. Like, I did read the manga adaptation of this, so if you're curious, did they mention there where he was reincarnation of? Not really, just say he's a reincarnation of something. Apparently, he mentioned, oh yeah, his previous life. He basically knows what someone was. Maybe he was somebody who was not. It's kind of weird. So, this kid is this character is born as the 13th, is born as the 13th prince of the kingdom. And his name is Noah. Though for some reason the manga I read basically his name is Noa without the H. Maybe it's a typo, whatever. That's how I read it. So, he is the son of the emperor, who apparently, by the time he retired in the manga, because I actually read the whole thing. I read pretty much all, 40 chapters of the manga adaptation of this. And I'm up to the point where the emperor's retired, and Noah's currently the emperor. That's where the manga's been. But that's the anime itself. Yeah, you just spoiled the manga. Well, the manga's been out for quite a while. And just find out why. It's very easy to find it. So, he apparently has, he has no name first, then he gives name Noah by the Emperor. We do see his mom, only in this episode, because in the manga, she does not appear after his birth. She just disappears. Yeah, she's very happy the fact, the Emperor is very happy that she has her son. It's later revealed that the Emperor has over 30 kids. I'm like, how many wives that he has? Because we do mention about several princes. We do meet in the first episode we meet the second and fourth prince. The second prince being Albert and the fourth prince being Henry. And they're pushing 30 and he's a little kid. So really he's got high attributes, especially water. So, and then we jump ahead 6 years later, and I saw this in the manga, I'm like, wait, he's a kid, why is this happening? Oh, he's a royal, and they expect this to happen. So, I saw the scene here, and I'm like, because this is the first anime I have ever seen this. So you have a 6-year-old being dressed by maids. And by the way, it's like this when he was older. Or apparently because they're royals, they can't exactly dress themselves. They have to have people dress them. Apparently. So we see him where he is dressed. Apparently, since he was a kid, apparently the maids have seen him butt naked. Yes. So, after he's dressed, of course, then he's one of his maids, Zoe, who is constant with him. And then, of course, he's eats his meal, and then, his brother is there, and then they give him a sword, which is named Leviathan, which, yes, has happened in manga, too. So, the sword itself, basically, just given to him by the second prince, who, for some reason, has got razor-sharp teeth, like he's a shark, And that obviously points to him as a villain. Yep, points to him as a villain. And he just gave one of his younger brothers this frickin' dark sword, which apparently is a water sword. Well, it's basically water use, of course, because he has accessibility. So, at this point, he's level 1 of infinity. Yes, 1 infinity. And in the manga, last read, he reached level 100. Yeah, he reached level 100. And at this point, they don't say his age yet, but Noah's 6 at this point. He's 6 years old, but he's very respectful. And then after meeting with his brothers, then of course he's informed by his maid that she needs time off because, well, her village was devastated by a flood, and apparently she needs to sell herself off to the red light district. He's like, that's not necessary. I'm gonna give your mom a job. He's like, I'm gonna give your mom a job basically as the one in charge of locking the rear gate, and I'll pay her 10 rails a month. And she's like, I've never heard of this avatar before. She's like, oh yeah, and also I'll give you a house for you two live in. And apparently, then of course, basically the butler, who is also in the same village, same area as Zoe, that's named the maid, who is 18. Yeah, she's 18. Of course, yeah. From what I read, she has a crush on our lead character here. So, then of course, basically, it's like, okay, it was a flood. He's like, didn't want a flood? Yep, there's a flood there. He's like, okay, I want you to purchase the village to save it, but that requires 7,000 rows. Okay, sell the land in the south that was given to me, and I'll use the pay for it. And by the way, the land of the king himself has no problem doing this at all because the king respects his decision because it actually was a smart move with his part. And he gets there and he's how bad the village is. And then we see the village, like, when the food rations given are basically just bland water. He tastes like blah. It's disgusting. And apparently this noble guy who is supposed to be in charge of the year, apparently he gets all the good stuff and they get all the crap stuff. And he's like, oh, you're basically taking kickbacks. And this guy had no idea who the heck Noah is. No idea. And then, of course, as a punishment for the kickbacks, he beheads him. Yes, he beheads him. Mind you, 6-year-old child kills a fully grown man with a sword. And then, of course, the army shows up thinking, oh, he's a troublemaker. And then figure out, nope. And, of course, the captain immediately recognizes who basically Noah is. Like, oh, bow your head. This is the 13th prince. Like, oh, crap, it's 13th prince. He's like, yeah, this man basically was charged in kickbacks, so I had him punished. These guys were co-conspirators, had them arrested and tried, and everything is a little problem. And he basically buys the land. Of course, yeah, millions of people, which is very smart of him to do. The king basically praises him for his decision because it was a very smart idea. Before anything got worse, but like that was a smart move on his part. So he acknowledges them, and then right afterwards, I think it was right after this, I think it was just after this, the end of the episode, the first episode was seeing this songstress. And then the very next episode, we see him at this place, and in the opening, 5 minutes of the episode, this whole thing happens. So she's singing, and then we have this very rude guy come up to her, and basically the man she offered her body in exchange for paying her father's debts. And then, of course, Noah sees this and tells him, knock it off. And by the way, the way he demands basically have her body give service to him is by almost taking off her shirt in front of a crowd of people. And then, of course, Noah takes out his sword, slices her shoulder a bit, and of course, he get away. And, of course, he agrees to basically be her sponsor, paying her 25 euros a month to basically pay. Of course, he does mention it's also illegal in the country to solicit children of dead parents to pay the parents' debts. And all you have to do is sing, and money will go to your money shipment. Cool. And later on, of course, yeah, the ruffians try to basically. They do have. He does talk to Henry about this. Henry has no problem with this at all. This is a very smart idea. He probably sees the fact that he probably sees his brother sees potential talent in this girl, and the reason why he does is because he wants to basically have her sing from the Emperor. And by the way, this girl is very pretty, and This girl's got pink hair. Also, the one thing the anime does not address this at all, the manga had this too for the cover images. Noah's eyes are two different colors. One eye is red, the other is blue, and his hair is silver. And I look at this character's appearance. It looks almost exactly like Cayenne from the Risk of the Road Adventure. Henry has got purple hair, and yeah, apparently, like, they later reveal he's got a brother of the same age, who are two brothers, which they're not seen here per se, but they're on the same age as Noah, and they're basically not seen here. They're probably at the palace, and probably the reason why that Noah got his own palace at the age of 6 is because he is very smart, and the fact that he picks very good talent. You're thinking, like, okay, so you have a guy who's basically got talent, he's smart, he picks talented people. Sounds like Resurrect's Elder Adventure, along with that basically, as a recurring novel, use my praise the writers in the world. Yes, this is very, very similar, except he doesn't use a praiser skill per se, but he does see talent just by witnessing the results in front of him. Also, so then he spends time with his brother, where he. Oh, by the way, later on, they do have. He goes back, and we have two drunkards who basically are basically be punished by Noah by having their clothes shredded in front of, like, the crowd and run away in their underwear. In the manga, they were butt naked. It just embarrassed them. It's like, continue singing, and it's like, I thought I told you to keep those people out. It's like, well, I had no choice. Those of you who keep my business afloat. It's like, okay, I'll buy the place. And he don't say this per se, but he probably keeps him around as basically the building manager. And the guy's like, no problem. You guys want to continue hearing her sing? So, in the case with my brother, he goes like a little shopping, a place called Cobalt Street, which they don't identify the name in the anime, but it's called Cobalt Street in the manga, where a little treasure hunt, and they don't find anything until Noah comes across this very interesting grimoire, which he touches it with a sword, and then this key comes out, and he basically goes by pushes it up in the air, and then we have a merch come. By the way, there's also a party for this, where we meet the character Byron and his daughter, which is actually not his biological daughter, it's adopted daughter. And apparently, she used to be a former slave that he adopted after he basically taught her some stuff. And not a really bad idea to do. I mean, it's not like in normal other series, if this was different type of, like, merchant per se doing this, they'd probably have the kid become basically a child bride. But be adopted? Okay, that's different. And aside from the fact they look alike, and the fact that aside from the fact they don't look alike, being father and daughter, he pointed out the fact that she was not intimidated by the sword because she was protecting him, and also there was also a guy in the crowd called a toy replica, and of course the sword basically was like, "How dare you!" And of course I was like, calm down, it's fine. And it was like, okay, well, we'll believe the fact that it's the real Leviathan sword. And don't worry, Byron will become a very important player in the series because he appears a lot throughout the series. Yes, he becomes somebody who works with Noah. And good party. And he basically doesn't go to the party wearing the sword on his hip. But in the case of this guy named Alan, who's a merchant, and he requests that Noah and Henry come to his shop to check out this ring that he has that he's trying to get rid of. It keeps coming back to him. So Noah tries it on, it accepts it of his master, no problem, and he gets himself brand new armor. This is, of course, later plays a role in the later scene with the songstress has debut of a shield that pops up nowhere. And I saw this look for him with the armor, gloves, and boots. Now, this does also remind me of the Aristocrats in Early Adventure because basically Cayenne also had the same exact has same attachments to him too. I wonder if basically that the two creators to the series must take a note. I mean, The biggest difference between Cayenne and Noah is that Cayenne basically is the son of a marquis, while Noah is the son of the king. Well, the emperor, as they've heard him as in the series. And the thing is, this guy has no name. He just referred to as the emperor. And Noah never refers to his father. Never does. In the entire series. He only refers to him as Your Majesty. Even if they're in private, he always refers to him as that. I guess it's basically something he grew up like. He does acknowledge the fact that this is his father, but he doesn't call him that. I'm like, that is interesting, because normally you do have series like this where you have character. Now, by the way, not the first series I've seen where you have a character incarnate as a prince, where he is not exactly first line for the throne, but he's basically like further down the line. This is only, like, I think, the second anime I've come across like that. The last one being I was reincarnated as a prince, taking my time and protecting my magic ability, which is a similar idea, except that prince is much younger than this one is. And plus, that he doesn't act like, he basically has a act where he acts like a child. Noah doesn't act like a child. He acts like an adult in a child's body. That's kind of how he is. Very mature. And, by the way, he does get lucky as he gets older. Yes, he does. So, then, of course, basically, I'm trying to think, what happened next? I think that was it for these 2 episodes, but I gotta say, really good start for this thing. And when I officially catch up with this one, which, by the way, there's only been 8 episodes released this thing, so I'll be able to catch this one up, no problem. And there's confirmed 12 episodes of this thing, so by the time I catch up, this will be out of an interview schedule, but just for very briefly. How briefly? About 4 weeks. Yep, 4 weeks. I now have currently 6 more to go, and then I'm done. Oh, and by the way, this is the 7th anime check-out this year. And one other thing, no dub. Yep, no dub. Why is that? I have no idea. But there is one anime I'm going to do soon, but I'm going to do after this one and another anime, which those will be catchable quickly, and then I'll start off the next one. So that's pretty much a particular video. Please be sure to like, comment, subscribe, check notifications. Next up is a video I should have done like a month ago. Okay, next video. Bye.